Hello and welcome to the Morning Skate Podcast. I am Matt Moody, joined by DJ Mitchell. We're here to go through the Tuesday, December 2nd NHL Daily Fantasy Slate. Let's get into it.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
DJ, we have 10 games on the docket here on Tuesday, and the last is the greatest of them all. All that and more coming up next. How was your Monday, DJ?
I really thought you were going to play it again. So you're saying they look like an idiot?
I just do like 7 openings.
DJ, we're back. We have a big slate to cover. All that and more next, Justin. I mean, it would be a funny
DJ
for like the first four.
DJ,
and then I think
Toronto at Florida. All that and more next.
Back to you in the studio. Okay, yeah, no, I mean, we're back. Busy weekend. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. A little bit of an extended break, for me, I guess, not for you. He's recorded for Tuesday for Wednesday's show, and then I hadn't recorded since, so it's good to be back. I just opened DraftKings because it doesn't matter. I had a FanDuel related incident of not being able to get in for some reason, and I somehow have a ticket to the NFL Best Ball Playoff Millionaire Maker. So we're already up big money on the day. So yeah, things are good. How was your Thanksgiving and your weekend?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was good. Very thankful for the ability to lose constantly every day, every sport, every slate. We had a good time on the Friday show, I think. So obviously I did nothing with the good information and, directionally accurate takes and whatnot. But we survive to a new day here on Tuesday. If you people are sitting on Fantasy Hockey World Championship qualifier tickets, the 168 is posted. I believe it's the first one of the season. So make sure you race to that because it'll fill quickly. Just because any of those bigger contests with tickets that we just know that those tend to fill. So don't risk it. If you have a ticket and want to use it today, make sure you reserve it early.
Yeah. It's
otherwise
54 of 140 as of recording at 7:17 the night before. So that'll be gone potentially by the time you're listening to this, jump.
Probably. But we have 10 games. We have a decent amount of information, and I think most importantly, we just have a lot of sort of new stuff to work with since the last time we really talked shop here. So that's what I like. I like to figure out these new situations and kind of beat the field to them versus just like, oh, well, the projections have this guy 0.5 better than the other guy, and therefore he's going to outscore him by 75 points if I don't play him. That's not really what I enjoy about this. And honestly, I think that's what I bring the most value we do, I think, as a show. So I do like that. A lot of injuries, a lot of nonsense, a lot of good stuff finally happening. So I think we can just go game by game. Was there anything else off the top?
Yeah, just one thing, I guess, and we can just get right into it. And sorry if there's ambulances going behind me, if you can hear it. I feel like in all sports as of late, and I didn't really think about it too much other than, in hockey, but I was listening to Swolecast. They did, a show, and they were talking about how in the NFL, all of the opto bros, all of the everything are getting there. And a couple of weeks ago, I had an insanely good score in NFL and didn't get there because the cash train just was insurmountable. It was so across all sites. And then they're talking about it's across all sports, and it's definitely been a factor in hockey, but the tides changed on Sunday. The opto bros were half punished, and hopefully that's going to carry over into hockey again, because it has. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, and you play more than me across all the slates, but it's felt like the optimizers have won, and the chalk has gotten there for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, certainly can't dispute that. It's been a frustrating run of things. And a part of that is football is just such a different animal than hockey, in my opinion. The nature of the projections and the time that goes into them, and the projectable inputs that are just clearly, I think provably consistent. I have a bit more hesitancy to just say that the NHL projections are being done, entirely faithfully, like with that same amount of rigor, I guess. I don't do anything like that, so who am I to say about, Roto Grinder, Stochastic, etc., about the
Talk
numbers
your
that they
shit.
put on players? But I'm not positive that there's the same, just because of the time intensive nature of it, you're not doing that for an NHL slate. So I kind of feel like it's a bit of a run of. It's not necessarily, I think, the projection so much as it is the star players and so consistently excellent. Nathan McKinnon. I mean, he's on truly another level for him. And like you didn't think that was possible after a couple years ago, and then like he's still raising his level.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think that's because the team around him is just awesome now, and we're seeing it play out on a nightly basis. So that's like the main offender, honestly, I think, is just because he's so owned and so like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's just, I mean, every team plays every other night now. Like this is like the schedule's insane. Um, so like that's I think a big part of it. Like, but also, yeah, the projections do probably get better over time. It's, just more information, more data points, more computing power that are able to do things. I can't tell you what exactly, the reasoning is, what they're doing better or whatever else. But I don't think it's necessarily an incorrect thing. But yeah, I don't know. We can
Yeah, I
stop
do want to I
the
just want to say
pontificating.
one note on McKinnon is just kind of like going across, and like I am old enough to remember, it was and I'm looking at it now, 4 seasons in, and Nathan McKinnon was looked at as not a bust, but like certainly not the player he was supposed to become. I mean, he had 63 points his rookie year, and then an injured second season, 38 points, 72 games, 52 points, 82 games, 53 points, with a minus on a bad team.
Mhm.
And then it just completely flips, 97, 99, 93, like 140 a couple of years ago. Like this guy is obviously taking a big step, but like same things happen with Bedard. Same things happen with Macklin Celebrini a little bit faster, honestly. And I just do think it's a good lesson in like, like if you think you could be right on a player early, definitely jump on it. And we'll talk about that on the slate, but obviously it's getting a little late in the year now to be
Well,
right on anybody. But we'll get
most
to some guys that we're
importantly,
really high on. Yeah.
yeah, most importantly, jump on them and never give up. And DJs, please stop twisting your microphone.
I
Whatever
know.
you
I gotta
just
fix
did
it.
made a horrible noise.
I'm gonna mute myself because it's gonna bother me if I don't fix it, and it's gonna make that noise again.
Okay, good. You were just like twisting it in your hand. All right. We have 10 games on the docket. We need to get things going. So let's do so. We have Boston at Detroit, Boston without David Pastrnak, Ottawa at Montreal. Ottawa has Brady Tkachuk back in the lineup. Tampa at the Islanders. The Islanders losing Cal Palmieri to a torn ACL, and Tampa having a cacophony of injuries that I don't know if anyone returns from. Dallas
He's
at
coming
the
up there, buddy.
What's that?
A cacophony.
No, I don't know what I just
The
said.
the SATs are next week.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't
know
remember
either.
saying that. I don't remember saying that word. Dallas at the Rangers. The Rangers without Adam Fox for what sounds like a very long time, which is no bueno. Toronto at Florida. Calgary at Nashville in what might be the worst game of the season. That actually doesn't look too bad on paper based on the rainbow chart. Vancouver at Colorado. Colorado getting the Chuchkin back. Minnesota at Edmonton. The top line center carousel continues to spin for Minnesota. Chicago at Vegas, and Washington at LA. And we're not going to spoil the surprise to you this early on, but if you know why we're so excited about that game. Anything you want to talk about off the bat here, DJ?
Cacophony, harsh or jarring sound.
Fuck.
Did my noise somehow bring into mind that
maybe
word? I swear you
maybe.
said it. Like if you didn't say that and I made that up, the chat will really have a hard time understanding how my brain works. I will.
An incongruous or chaotic mixture. There you go. That's an alternate That's an
Oh,
alternate
okay.
definition.
All right. That's a
So
great word. We're all richer for at least the English skills that we've gained today. No, I mean, like, there's a lot of green on this for goals. Like, I do think the
yeah.
slate sets up pretty well. They're like, a short break for a lot of these players, but a couple of days off
So
can do a lot of good. Some injuries that are shoring up.
well,
Just getting less AHL guys in the rosters can help. Matt, you
yeah,
want to take this?
I actually don't think there's been any breaks. Like I think the problem, like I think what's leading to the goals is that the schedule is getting more condensed. With Black
Yeah.
Friday, the day before, basically last week it was Monday,
Oh, good
Wednesday,
point.
Friday, Saturday for a lot of teams. Obviously Sunday, Monday, there's a lot of games, and so you're just jamming in games close to one another. And maybe this is a factor of the injuries piling up around the league, where as the star players get lesser AHL quality players to feast on, the
Yeah.
goals go in. I don't know. It could just be also randomness, but
A
that is what I sort of
cacophony of
ascribe it to.
negative externalities. Put that down in the SATs for me, please. Thank you. I
Right.
get a
All right.
669, I believe, is a good score. Okay, let's get into Boston at Detroit. You want to talk about teams that don't look like they used to. Middlestad, Zaka, Arvidsson, Alex Steves, Elias Lindholm, Morgan Geeky. I mean, the greatest goal scorer in all of the sports. Listening to
Correct.
32 Thoughts on the way home from work today, they're like, has Morgan Geeky made a case for Team Canada? They're like, well, no, but like pretty good. You can't argue. He's had like, I don't know the exact number, but like an insane number of first goals for the Boston Bruins. And as of late, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 goals in the last 6. I mean, the guy's absolutely red hot and doesn't look like he wants to stop. But with that being said, he is certainly out scoring his expected. His volume hasn't been, it's been higher than normal, but not insanely high. Very, 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 very efficient. Is there any interest in this Boston Bruins team going against a Detroit Red Wings team?
On the road, like no, not really. I mean, we just saw this matchup. What the other day? Let me look at it. I mean, the problem, yeah, here's all the injuries. I'm clicking on dudes, but yeah, we literally just saw this matchup. Okay. I wasn't
It
going
does sound
crazy.
familiar.
3-2 for Boston on Saturday. Um Arvidsson back is interesting. He was really good before he got hurt. And remember, it wasn't all power play one driven. There was sort of like the fact that he was doing well on the second line, and then Lindholm got hurt and opened up a power play job, and he continued to get better. So like Arvidsson doesn't need Pasternak to produce at 5-on-5. Does Middlestat and Zaka do it for you? I don't know. But I think Arvidsson comes back to a power play one job. These power play ones are not official, by the way. We just don't know. I didn't see anything at the very least, but I do expect him there. And so for 4,100, I think Arvidsson would be the top option, just because he's a guy who I trust, and I can't say that about anyone else on this roster.
I will call Alex Steves and let him know you said that. Yeah, they have 1.6 expected goals against Detroit last time out, and they won 3-2 in a shootout because everyone played Swayman. So that's what happens when everyone plays Swayman.
Yep.
On the other side, the Detroit Red Wings had 3.8 expected goals, and they were chasing it. I mean, being a little disingenuous with that, they were chasing it basically all game. Morgan Geeky scored, I believe, a pretty early one, and they were chasing it, as everything I've indicated before. Larkin, Raymond have been sensational. DeBrincat has been every bit as good. The prices have gone to the ceiling, though, in my opinion. Like, I just can't see on this slate actually clicking. Like, you know what? I could pay 100 more for Mikko Rantanen. I could pay 400 more for Nikita Kucherov, but I'm gonna clear 500 more for Geek. I'm gonna click on Alex DeBrincat. Not on that top line anymore. It's still a good play, but
Yeah.
like in the sense of like he's a good player that has upside, but it's a bad play in the sense of the dollar you're spending is just too much. So I'm probably out on this game, but yeah.
The second line is interesting to me only insofar as you look at the top line and it's a power play 2 guy in Finney, who I don't really trust, and then it's Larkin and Raymond, who are 2 power play 1 guys who've been quite good. They cost you 18.1K. DeBrincat and Kane are on the power play 1. I trust them, if not more, than Larkin Raymond. Andrew Kopp I don't trust him the same way I don't trust Emmett Finney, but he's 1,000 less than Emmett Finney. So that line's going to cost you 16.2K. And it's like, I mean, they've been equally good as far as the expecteds are concerned, fantasy points wise. The time on ice would be a little bit better for the top line, but Andrew Kopp, I mean, shit, like this dude could play 19 minutes and none of us would bat an eye because that's just what happens with Detroit. Andrew Kopp also gets some secondary power play time that happened in practice today. I don't know how long that's been going on for, but like JVR doesn't have a power play role. So there's at least some signals that like maybe it's an okay stack. Andrew Kopp last 10 games, 7.4 expected fantasy points, 4.8 actual. So maybe a bit of positive regression inbound for him as well. So yeah, I would prefer Marco Casper to be the second line center, but for 16K, I don't mind DeBrincat, Kopp, Kane in this matchup, especially. So certainly interested there. Not sure whether it's Gibson or Talbot in that, but if you're a goalie bro, Gibson's had his problems this year. So,
Yeah.
and otherwise, Mo Sider is a great play. 6,200. He's kept that power play job, and his floor is just phenomenal. I mean, I say that as I got like 4.3 from him in that prior Boston game, but before that, at least before I played him, he was great, and he's a guy who we trust to rack up multi-bonus potential and multiple point potential. So
yeah, I do like
anything else here.
Yeah, if you're not playing the guy, I think he's a better play. If that's the question.
Yeah,
but no, I don't plan on playing this game. Don't love this game. There's a lot of better games out there. This isn't really one of them, but I'm at least tentatively interested just as far as like I'm interested in this side right here. Like
let me just preface this. Well, let me just preface this. We don't know the lines. The lines were not this last game. They lost 6-1 in Dallas. I don't understand why these are not the lines, so we'll see. They went Brady, Cousins, Zetterlund, and Lars Eller, Stützle, Batherson.
Other coaches are listening to us clearly as we've very, very, very convincingly switched multiple lineups. Now, this is a good scenario to test that theory and put that all into practice. Now, I would additionally remove Cousins and put what's his name? Pinto on the top power play, but being as he's barely getting any power play run, that won't happen. Regardless, we go into this game, let's just use this mindset. And then, you know what, just furthermore, whatever line Brady Tkachuk's on is the line you want to play. Like, if they're getting there, it feels like he's going to be along for the ride. It kind of feels that way with Sanderson as well. This pricing feels a lot more competitive to me comparatively to Detroit. I'm willing to target Montreal. They have not been as good as I feel like people continue to believe they are. It's not any matchup that I'm not losing sleep over playing it or not playing it because the game in general sucks, but it really just sucks from a Montreal perspective and the fact that even though Montreal shot a little bit more as of late, it's not groundbreaking. No interest in Montreal whatsoever. Of course, we'll go over it, but I do have tentative interest in the Ottawa side. Returning back to Canada after a long road trip, they did sleepwalk on Sunday, so hopefully a little bit more fire.
This game is a 6.5 right now if the score app's not lying to me. So over 3 for both of these teams if the spread or the money line stays basically a pick 'em. So that's a feather in the cap for both of these squads, in all honesty. But yeah, I also agree. I prefer the Ottawa side. I wish they would just go with my lines because it's my world and everyone else is just living in it.
I agree.
But if it's Tkachuk, Cousins, Zetterlund, that's fine. But certainly not exciting to me. So otherwise, I don't know about Thomas Jabot, for example. I don't think he's an option, but just keep an eye out for that. We didn't get anything today. They were off. Nope, not power play 1 for Spence. Power play 2. There we go. So yeah, we're keeping an eye out for Ottawa stuff. If the top line is what we hope it is, that's 19K. That's going to be one of my favorite spots on the night, but wait and see there for what is not too bad of a salary. On the Montreal side, their top line is falling in price, 16.8K. Bolduc remains up there. Also, Bolduc remains on the top power play. I believe sort of my direction, whether it was on a podcast or on Friday's live stream, was like we've seen it from Bolduc before. We're not seeing it at the moment. We're not seeing it in this situation, but like it's a bet on talent. So Bolduc remains underpriced for his role. If you want to go with more, I guess, even more slappy bets, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, and Demidov is going to run you 11.1K. The problem is they just don't get enough minutes to really make an impact on most nights. Now, if you take 4 shots on Linus Olmark and 3 of them go in, well, it doesn't matter how many minutes you're playing. And so that's kind of what you're getting with Slavkovsky, Kapanen, and Demidov. Otherwise, Noah Dobson's turned it around a bit, but 5,100 doesn't really excite me. And then Lane Hudson at 4,400 just feels like an auto add to a top line stack. I don't know how interested I am if I'm playing, Montreal 2, if I really want to go all the way and add a Lane Hudson. But any interest in Montreal?
None still. Convincing arguments you've made, but I will continue to not play them. Yeah, I eventually the efficiency will come for us all, and that top line will giga nuke. Of course, as you already mentioned, Bolduc is a very big part of that. But Caulfield's shot rates just aren't enough at that price. Suzuki's have never really been good enough, but they're really, really talented. So you're just betting on a massive goalie leak, and that's just not how I play DFS. So yeah, nope from me.
How do you play DFS? Please
How
tell
do I
me in
play
a
DFS?
five-page essay.
Which style, Chicago or
Ooh,
you get to pick,
what's
and
the
then I
other
will
one? Is it AP?
MLA,
MLA.
AP,
I think
MLA.
that's
I
right.
think those are all 3 different things.
Oh, maybe. DJ better at the SAT than me, apparently.
A cacophony of options.
All right,
To Tampa.
let's go to Tampa. Yeah, Tampa's a very odd situation based on practice today. It sure seems like Braden Point's not coming back. He was on the bench along with Ryan McDonough, but I think that was like them literally showing up in flip flops or whatever the hell. But Victor Hedman was on the ice. However, he was slotted in next to JJ Mosier, rotating with someone else, Chernak maybe, or someone who's like hurt and not playing either. And they made a point to note that Darren Radish is visiting his father who's battling cancer today. So, one, obviously all the best to him. That sucks. But 2, like if Hedman's there, like why wouldn't Hedman be rotating with Declan Carlisle or whatever if he's going to play? Like why would it be, Darren Radish? So I don't know. I'm guessing Radish is in though. And if that's the case, 4,700 for what Radish is doing is still a pretty good value. This matchup with the Islanders is pretty fun. We've talked all year long about how they're an exciting team. So, yeah, any interest in Tampa here on the road?
Yeah, I do have interest in Tampa here on the road. I think I kind of alluded to it a little bit where I said, Nikita Kucherov, I think he's a good play at this price. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Hagel and Kucherov are the engine and the bus driver, as the analogy continues to go for us. So I don't, if they're on the same line, I don't really care about the power play enough to say it's a bad play. Darren Radish has continued to be great, but 4,700 is really getting out of hand. I'm not even gonna. I always say Destow, and I know it's wrong now, and I can't remember the stew. What is it again?
No, I think the Stow's right.
Destow's right. Okay. I mean, he's been every bit of what you'd want in a punt defenseman at 2,600. As long as the role stays intact, I don't see why not go to it again. So he's involved enough for me to, and playing enough minutes and playing power play too to be in the mix. So yeah, I could go any way on this, but yeah, what were your thoughts?
I'm just getting smashed over the head with Darren Radish. And the thing is that, in his career, he's been an above average rate shooter. So like, why in this role would we expect anything different? The minutes are outstanding. Like, so long as Hedman doesn't play, I think Radish is truly one of the top defensive plays. Like, I'm kind of done dealing. Oh, well, he was actually on the 3rd pair with Victor Hedman, so like they don't like him. Like, just fuck all that. Like, he shoots. He's like, that's all you need with Nikita Kucherov. You literally just need to shoot. We saw it with the corpse of Steven Stamkos, who left and can't do anything now. So like, I think that's fine. 4,700 doesn't concern me. But of course, I want to stack that with Kucherov. You could get fancy and try to play Gensel, Paul, Bjorkstrand. Their power play 1 correlated based on practice today, which actually, can you look last game? Wasn't Nick Paul still on the power play one? Like this Cirelli Hagel power play 2 thing is just really bothersome for some reason. And it doesn't like obviously the power play's been smashing, so whatever. But like it does kind of feel like
Bjorkstrand, Radish, Gensel, Kucherov.
Okay.
Kucherov never came off the ice. Soccer.
Yes. So yeah, so all those guys should be together at 5-on-5. It's gonna be 14K basically. And all are pretty good. Bjorkstrand's ticked up a lot lately. He started the year really poorly and really turned it around, which isn't all power play driven. So the 5-on-5 role increase is nice. But yeah, it all builds around Kucherov. If you want to go Kucherov, Cirelli, Hagel, fine. If you want to go Kucherov, Radish plus a line 2-piece, fine. If you want to play 6 Tampa Bay guys, I think that's honestly fine. This is probably the top spot. This team is awesome. And they're really rounding in the form right now with truly nobody defensively who you're like, oh yeah, that guy, like that guy's awesome. JJ Moser's making his way in there, but you know, I'll give it more than 20 games from like, yeah, dude, like this guy's a top defenseman in the world. So any interest in the Islanders with all that said?
No. I think their coach is an absolute fucking donkey. He benched Max Shabanov for an extended period in a game they were trailing and they did nothing.
You do understand he played 16 minutes in the game, right? Like
he got benched. Yeah, he played a ton, and then they benched him for like, look at the shift chart. They benched him for like fucking 15 minutes of the game.
I'm just saying,
35 minutes. They benched him until like 10 minutes left in the. It's insane.
Okay.
It's fucking stupid. Like they're a dumb team that does dumb things, and they piss me off. And
whatever.
They're probably in play. They're very, very, very concentrated. The entire offense is going to come through the top 6, and there's really good players, and they're not that expensive. And there's Shabanov's a great punt option, and I just can't wait to fucking bet it again tomorrow and lose money and be mad. How about you?
So hold on, they took a 4-minute penalty in there. Yeah, I don't think this was an actual benching of any sort. I'll be honest with you. I just assumed you were right, but now I'm looking at it and I think it's honestly
didn't take a shift for like 15 minutes of game time though. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean
that
happens.
But not
the end of the period. They open up the period. Looks like they literally looks like they took a 4-minute penalty. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever. You can be mad at them
for like 15 minutes of game time. I don't know what to tell anybody. Like there were I mean, if there was a 4-minute penalty or not.
Okay. Well, after he was quote unquote benched, he was still on the power play 1. So Barzal, Lee, Shabanov, and then they finally at the end of that, like halfway through the power play, they took off only Shabanov and put on Ryan Pulock, and they immediately scored. So that's like the only thing that really would concern me. I think we'll get more indication there, but in any case, the role has to be there. Like, I mean, unless you're saying Max Ziplikov comes back from the dead, like even if he's on the 3rd line with Cal Ritchie, we've seen Shabanov perform quite well. He's 2,800. The value just is something that I'm not willing to pass up on. So Heineman, Horvat, Shabanov is perfectly fine. Shabanov slightly more interesting than Heineman just because I think there's more upside in terms of both role and ability. But Heineman is very good too for just 3,200. Juan Barzal Lee, which by the way should be the power play, not Juan based on last game. Lee rounding back into form. You know, we saw him go from like 13 expected fantasy points over the last 10 games like 3 weeks ago. Like the other day it was at like 7. Now it's back up to 10.5. Like this guy is the definition of, you know, he's a Brady Tkachuk and he's 4,400. Like, yeah, he's not going to get there as often as Brady does, but when he does, it'll be with shot bonuses and goals. And last time I checked, those do get you a lot of fantasy points.
From where I'm from.
Yes, and then Cal Ritchie continues to fill that void left by JG Pajot. More positive code quotes about it. So 2,500 minimum salary. Not the best spot for it, but if you want to go for it. And then the final thing is just keep an eye out for that Pulock information. He wasn't on any power play, but if for whatever reason they think they want a one-timer at the top of their point with Schaefer, then Pulock at 3,300 would be a good option. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm certainly interested in game stacks of this more so than I'm like, yeah, the Islanders are going to beat Tampa. But I think the values here make a lot of sense.
Very bold and brave of you.
All right. Dallas at the Rangers. A couple injury notes. Liam Bichel, I think he's out for Dallas, which is not good news for them, considering Capobianco, Labushkin, and Petrovic are there other options. So they're going to have to call up someone worse than those three guys. Now, does it matter? No, because they just keep winning anyway. And on the Rangers side, with no Adam Fox, they're going to a 5-forward power play 1. But without Adam Fox, I mean, this team is significantly worse off. So any interest in Dallas here heading into us MSG?
Not really. I mean, it's very power play driven. It's very like, are they going to continue to get away with it feeling at this point with the actuals just completely nerfing the expected? I mean, Robertson's been every bit the part, but we are once again buying the peak price here for a team that deserves it for the output, but they're going against a pretty tough team in the Rangers that has been good defensively, like on the season. This is not going to be a favorable matchup. It's not going to be a great game. It should hopefully be an opportunity for the Rangers to actually flex some muscle and maybe take advantage of some weaker defensemen. And I think, this is sort of my brain trying to function on all cylinders, but like, if you think like, what is a coach going to do when the other team is lacking good defensemen? Like my belief, especially defensemen that aren't in the NHL often, like you should dump it in and forecheck hard on those guys. Like that should slow the game down. That should slow the pace down. That should slow everything down, even more so than is already being shown. Will that happen? I don't know. Will Miro play 30 minutes anyways? Probably will play quite a few minutes. So they're only going to have so much time to do it. But most of the game, I think they're going to try everything they can to hem them in to their own zone and trap the neutral zone and slow things down and try to make these young defensemen make mistakes. So not even young, but less experienced defensemen. So I just don't like this game in general, and I'm not paying through the nose for it.
Yeah. The volume is a major concern. Both of these teams limiting the shot attempts in a way that the expected goals and actual goals are not representing. So if I'm aiming for things, it's for 3-point bonuses, for example, which means stacking. And so from the Dallas perspective, we have Jamie Benn up with Johnson and Rantanen. That line is 18.2K. I mean, the way Johnson's playing, like, it's kind of hard to believe that Johnson Rantanen X is only 18K, but here we are. So I think that line's an option. But, Jason Robertson has been just the absolute demigod here. 8,700. The dude is averaging 15.3 expected fantasy points a game and is still just unbelievably smashing that mark with 22.2 actual fantasy points per game last 10. And that doesn't include DraftKings bonuses, by the way, which he's hitting basically every night. So like he's on another planet right now. You could make an argument that he is every bit as good a play as Nate McKinnon. And, Nate McKinnon has a better matchup, but he's a bit more expensive and whatnot. So it's an interesting discussion at the very least, because I do think without Adam Fox, this Rangers team is so much worse. He's been unreal this year. You look at some of the off ice stuff with him, and it is truly day and night. And I don't think the forwards have anything to do with that. Yes, Panarin is probably help there, versus, but I don't know. I think both of these top 6 lines are fine, and whichever one's playing with Fox is just always better than when they're without him. And so I think that's truly an Adam Fox thing. What it does do, though, is it brings in a guy like Will Cooley into the mix, 4,300 top power play. Now you can stack any of Zibanejad, Panarin, who are with Lafreniere at 5-on-5, Miller, Trocheck, who are with Johnny Brodzinski. You can just leave off the third wheel and play Will Cooley and be perfectly well off. I think that's a good way to go about it, too, because if Dallas gets there, if you're saying it's on the power play, well, that means the Rangers are going to get more power plays to try and figure it out. So that's all I would do, is just true stacking, just trying to hit some upside. But I can't say it's my favorite spot. I might just try to bet on Igor, having an Igor type night and bailing out the Rangers or something, and just keeping this game like 2-1.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair way of doing it. But again,
All right.
I mean, I'm not playing either sides, like I said, so we can keep it moving. But yeah, it's what you said makes sense to me. We can move on to the repeat of, was it the Eastern Conference Final, Toronto, Florida? No, it was the round before that. Yeah, the
Yes. Yeah.
Atlantic Division Final. I mean, yeah, fuck Toronto making the Eastern Conference Final. What is this? Neptune? Okay, so Toronto. Now, anything that we say about Toronto or see about Toronto is going to have a massive asterisk next to it because they have not been this healthy in quite some time. But we have seen a couple games now with the team at full force. Matthews, Nyes, Domi, Cowan, Tavares, Domi again. That can't be right because Nylander should be back, I thought.
Yep, you're right. Yep,
okay, sorry. I didn't mean to be a jerk by saying it that way, but
if you see anything wrong, please point it out. Which, by the way, I've not looked at the chat once. So,
there's not been a ton there. I put
okay,
in there. Yeah, I've kept an eye on it. But the point being is that this team is way better than the team that I was, betting on Easton Cowan to get shots on goal when they, were mustering 18 towards the goalie a night. This is a real hockey club going against a Florida team that I have no issue going against at all. They've been decently porous defensively, and that could be attributed to the forwards just not being what they used to be. And does it matter that much? Does Etu Luosterainen make a massive difference? Well, he's one of the better defensive metric forwards in hockey. Like, you are taking out Matt Tkachuk, Luosterainen, Barkov from that team and putting in, players that are just nowhere near that level. So it does matter. Like, I'm interested in Toronto here. I am willing to spend these prices because I just think that they're pretty fair, all things considered, on this slate. And I really don't think people are going to get to this spot.
DJ, your Josh Norris update. He almost scored, but Zucker stole the goal from him.
Did he get a point? I didn't bet it.
He got a point.
I bet Dahlin.
Okay.
Oh, they have 2 goals already. Holy shit.
I don't think Dahlin. But yes, the Josh Norris experience. Please last more than 1 period. Please, 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 please. All right. Yeah, Toronto. I mean, that game on Saturday, like, it's really easy to overreact to a single game. And trust me, I saw enough beat writers in my timeline doing just that, it kind of makes you understand, be like, all right, hold up. It was the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins, and you had 2.3 expected goals at 3.6. Like, take a chill pill, everyone. Let's just sit down. But we know with this Toronto team, it's a confidence thing. And, Matthews didn't actually nuke. He had like a goal, an assist, 4 shots, 2 blocks, like the classic, edge of your seat, like it's ready, it's right there, but he didn't do it. 8,900 in what's probably going to be the lowest ownership we get rest of the year if he is back. It's interesting. Easton Cowan, I know he's kind of your guy because I was telling you, like, don't play him and don't bet on him. And then he's just like, hey, what if I just kept shooting a bunch and whatever, hey, he's a good player, so gotta hand that to him. Maybe I can Matt Coronado him into being a top flight NHL producer at this point. But 3,200 there makes stacking a lot easier, even if it's not the same line. I expect the power plays. We did see the power plays remain the same in practice today, so that's good news. And then you tack on a Nyes or a Tavares or a Nylander, and you have a stack that runs you about 19K for a Toronto side that, again, I don't expect to get a ton of ownership. So I think it's pretty easy what you do with Toronto. What you do in Florida, if you want to capitalize on, hey, take a chill pill, I think it's a bit tougher. They're coming off a pretty embarrassing collapse against... Yeah, the last game was against Calgary, right? Where they went up 3-0 immediately and then blew it.
Yeah. And I made the tweet that was like, we need to demote these idiots. And then they're like, what if they came back? I mean, again, I'm taking full credit for the fact that
so Florida, I do expect them to change their lines. I didn't see anything new, so I'm just keeping what they had, but just keep an eye out for it. I don't think there's any prices here that's like, oh, if they get moved up, they're like an auto jam, block of the century type deal. But just keep an eye out for stacking. Any specific players on Florida you like, and does it just begin and end with Sam Reinhart?
Yeah, I mean, that's the majority of the story. And I held true to myself that like I'm not playing Florida without Sam Reinhart. I have not played them without Sam Reinhart. I will continue to only play them with Sam Reinhart. But there's nothing wrong with adding in a Marchand or another like Seth Jones into that mix. Verhaeghe's kicked it back into gear, which has been nice to see. Like he's looked competent is probably the best word. So sure, I mean, I guess you could convince me to consider like any of these pieces around Reinhardt, but it's Reinhardt. Sam Miscavige over the last 5 has 5 shot attempts per game. That'll make our Florida Panthers fans happy in the chat, hopefully. But yeah, just not a lot of interest overall in this team. Like I think it's Toronto or bust in this matchup.
Yeah, Sam Miscavige, last 10 games, 8.8 expected fantasy points per game, 4.9 actuals. So a bit of regression is inbound for him if he can stay in the top 6. There's no guarantee that he's not the guy who they're like, we got to switch things up. We got to get, Verhaeghe back in there. Could be Sam Miscavige getting relegated.
That looked to me like Darlene to Norris to Zucker. What are you talking about?
I mean, I didn't watch it. I saw someone say that Doan got a tip on it.
Did he?
I don't know, DJ.
Maybe. Okay. I have no idea, honestly. Maybe he did. That's tough to say, actually. Okay. Let's move on because I'm focused on that and not the podcast while I'm live on air doing a podcast that I should be focused on.
Calgary at Nashville. Are you done?
Yeah. No. I was going to talk about something else stupid. Let's talk about real things. The Calgary Flames, on the other hand, have played since we last, since the Florida game, where they went out and played in, I believe, the most boring game in NHL history. They lost 1-0 in overtime with a combined, I think 2 shots on goal, maybe 3. Not great for the people who like the overs on the shots. They are not in this matchup playing a team in Carolina. They are playing a team in Nashville, that are the wheels off the car. Matt?
I'm going to keep it on Calgary for a second, and I got to come clean. In the Discord, if you're following along, you know this already, but I played both Anderson and Uyghur on my Sunday team. I was just like, I don't know which one to pick. I don't like the D options here. Like, they're going to get a couple bonuses. Like, it's fucking Carolina. And so I did that. I turned it into literally the worst hockey game on the planet. Just absolute brutality. I watched the end of it because I thought I had a sweat. I didn't know Wyatt Johnson was going to score a hat trick in the 3rd period, and it just nothing happened. It was awful. Mm-hmm. That said, Rasmus Anderson, 5.4K top power play, 12.6 expected fantasy points per game last 10, 14 actuals. He's been awesome. Uyghur, basically 10 expected fantasy points per game. His price is now down to 4,900. It's a great game in terms of the matchup for them. Like, if you're looking for a team with a similar level of talent, here you go. Here it is, the Nashville Predators. And Nazem Kadri at 6,500 is doing it all right now. 16.2 expected, 12.0 actual last 10. So you could say he's even getting a bit unlucky, and he's still been paying off his price tag despite pretty piss poor line mates. So, I can't say I hate it. I don't know if I want to play Huberdeau, Frost, Coronado. It's 13K. It's all pretty well and good, in all honesty. But I don't know if I really want to spend several roster spots on a Calgary stack, and I don't want a mini stack here.
I will say 2 things. One, I don't think there's anything wrong with clicking on Coronado, Kadri together. Like, even if I know it probably has to come through the power play a bit. Like, these guys have 5 shot and a goal upside in a donkey fest. 2, Rasmus Anderson totally in play. I completely agree. He's been doing everything until he played Carolina. Then he stopped blocking shots, which is very strange. 3, I mean, this Jan Kuznetsov guy is just playing 20 plus minutes and blocking a ton of pucks. 3 blocks bonuses in his last 4 games at minimum salary with a big role playing alongside Uyghur, right? Yeah, Uyghur. Like, he's going to see the ice. He's not power play, correlated, but anyone can luck into a assist. I mean, he even scored against Florida. I don't think that's going to happen too many times. It's only happened once this season, but I do think that there's at least a floor. And if he gets a blocks bonus at 2,500 and gets an assist, I mean, you are just, hooting and hollering. So there is interest here. There's different pieces of this pie that I'm interested in, and I just don't think you have to be like, I'm playing Kadri, so I have to play Sharon Govich or Joel Therapy. Like, just don't do that to yourself. They're not going to shoot. They're not going to get there. Don't do it to yourself. Just play Coronado, and play Kadri and play Anderson and play the good players. Like, it's fine.
That is, I'll need to write that down.
You do want to try to do that, Matt. I know you hate doing playing the good players thing, but you're allowed.
All right. Good news for everyone. The Nashville Predators are next up, so don't need to worry about that. We have Stamkos, O'Reilly, Evangelista, Forsberg, Howla, Marchessault, Bunting, Jost, Weisblatt, and Reed Schaefer, Svechkov, and Matthew Wood. Reed Schaefer, former first rounder, they got him in the Ekholm deal, like pretty decent pedigree, but just not getting the ice time. So him and Wood are interesting and could be good, but like, boat anchors and whatever, Fedor Svechkov and time on ice, and it's all just a big old problem. Roman Josi has a new deep partner in Spencer Stastny. He's been terrible, but maybe more minutes can help that. I don't know. And then Shea with Nick Blankenberg. Nick Blankenberg has leveled up into just the best fantasy defenseman in the world. 3K, 11.1 expected fantasy points last 10, 9.3 or 9.6 actual. Like, he's been better than Josi. Yes, Yosi's missed some time in there, so it's not a full 10 games, but like 3K for Blankenberg is pretty crazy for the role that he's been playing. And yes, the power plays are kind of split down the middle. I got angry the other day and went, Evangelista, Howla, Blankenberg, Bunting, Wood is power play one, but like Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg, Marchessault is also, equally used basically. Stamkos is so cheap at 3,700 that people have been getting there. I can't do it. To me, it's Nick Blankenberg. It's Luke Evangelista or nothing. I don't really know why I want to spend my money on, 6.9K Forsberg when he's just saddled with Howla, Marchessault shit. Like, it's bleak for Nashville. And yes, the wheels are off the wagon, DJ. If that was not clear.
Yeah, they are. Rock me mama like a wagon wheel. Am I right, everybody? Down in Nashville as we sing the songs. Yeah, no, there's two incredible options that are very, very cheap and very correlated. I played Nick Blankenberg. It's been successful. I feel like that's factoring into the fact that I want to play him again. I had him on the blocks bonus, 3 shots, assist night against Chicago, and it just felt like, man, things are really easy when he plays 60 minutes and does all that. Then the next night he goes out and I didn't play him. He's like, fuck you. I'm scoring a fucking goal against Winnipeg. I don't give a shit. 22 minutes. He is a bit dependent on the game script, but like in a perfect, not a perfect, but like in the scenario where you're stacking the Flames, I do think he's playing a ton of minutes. So like very, very valuable on the other side. So sign me up. I'd love to get Wood. I'd love to go Matthew Wood, but they just doesn't play. They just don't do that. They're against it. So
they would never.
They have to play Luke Evangelista as much as possible, but we can move over to another team that plays in the National Hockey Team, and that's all I'll say about that. Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver. They have Quinn Hughes. That's a good start for now, at least. Honestly, not sure about these D pairs if they stuck. I had them breaking up Hughes Myers. They're going into Colorado. It does not matter. Do not play the Vancouver Canucks. Any argument?
There goes my plan. All right, never mind.
Okay.
Get that Canucks gone. You know what I will
Colorado.
say? You know what?
Okay.
I will say
you
one
know
thing.
what?
I will say
Please say something.
Am I losing my mind, or didn't Quinn Hughes put up like 50 against them last time? He had 21.
Sure
he had 7 shots on goal.
He
I was
going to
say,
very exceptional.
Yeah, I just remembered him having some donkey game. He only put up 21 DraftKings points with 1 assist and 7 shots on goal, 2 blocks. But like, man, that guy is he is matchup proof. He is unbelievable. Okay, you don't have to play this team. Let's move on to Colorado.
And the thing is, Pettersson's 6,700. Like, it's just too much. You're just not getting, I think, good odds on it.
You're not getting much.
The Colorado side, Nathan McKinnon is 10K. We finally hit that point of the year where he's just $10,000, 15 expected, 20 actual fantasy points last 10 games. Val Nichushkin should be back. there was a quote about him, quote, making it through the day. Just made me laugh. Like, yeah, if this dude can survive surrounded by AKs and cocaine or whatever his home life is, he'll be good to go. So I expect him to play. We didn't see where he'll slot in. He did wear a power play 2 sweater to start, though. So not expecting him to steal like Landeskog's role. But it is interesting. He's certainly better than Landeskog for the same price if the role is there. So I'm even more hesitant to play a guy like Landeskog, who has been very chalky recently. The team total is going to be like a 4.8. You can play Landeskog. He could get there, but I just think the paths to failure are pretty wide. And when he fails, he gets you 1 point, which at 5K is just not good.
So he was chalky the past 2 slates where he put up a combined 58.6. So I'm certain no one will play him and he'll do nothing. So it's going to be great. Check his ownership. Check the projection. It will
Gabe Landeskog. All right.
It's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, Lehkonen, McKinnon, Nachos, like it's 23.6K. I don't know. Like, just play McKinnon as a stupid donkey one-off
and win all the money.
Just win all the money. Yeah.
What is
McCarr,
I mean, the
85.
team total. You know what? Let's play the game of like what that looks like quickly. Okay, how do I? Oh my God.
DJ trying to do math here is gonna be excellent.
I'm not. I don't even need to. I just click buttons.
Actually,
6.5 minus 325.
Yeah, they're only minus 320. That's actually kind of astounding.
Because Vancouver's not that bad.
Oh my God, DJ hitting us with the Pedersen Hughes Omega stack.
The Giga stack. I mean, they're plus 130 over 4.5. I know it's not true odds or anything, but like they're projected for almost 4. I mean, it's around 4.
Yeah, like, that's right. It's about 4. So
it's going to be played.
Ownership
no matter
will be high. If Ross Colton stays in the top 6, like that's interesting. He's 4K. He's been very good. If he's the guy who moves down, if Val Nichushkin slots in there, like that would be a problem. So yeah, Colorado, best spot of the night. They have several of the best plays of the night. I'm just not sure that Gabe Landeskog specifically is one of them, and I'm sure that's where the field will congregate around. So let's all have fun fading Gabe Landeskog 40 burgers. Minnesota at Edmonton. Minnesota going to be without Danila Yurov, it sounds like. So Ryan Hartman slides up to the top line with Kaprizov and Zuccarello. Hartman is the definition of a fantasy donkey. So even though he's 4K, I think he's very much in play. The line is going to cost 17.7K. This Edmonton team has been horrendous defensively. They're still without Jake Wallman. Maybe RNH back solidifies it a little bit, but also Roslovic got hurt. Is that a thing that happened that I just completely memory hold?
I mean, it says he's out, so that's interesting. It's not expected to be for like at least a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
I don't remember seeing him get hurt.
There you go. Okay. So that's, I guess, I don't know if he was great defensively or whatever, but
the Oilers are also getting the Curtis Lazar. When the fuck did he play for them? He played for them this year? I just never noticed him once.
Yeah, he's been here for a while. He only missed like a couple of games in there, I'm pretty sure.
That's one of those moments where I'm like, that guy, there's no fucking way he's on that team. But he is.
He's like the only guy who's been worse for them than Trent Frederick. That is impressive. Like, kind of the.
How much did they pay Trent Frederick?
I believe $24 million.
More than they make in a year.
There's a 32. I think it was 32 million actually.
It was a lot of years for a guy that's.
There's a lot of years. I think for 4 mil. But whatever.
I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
Kaprizov 8,600. I don't expect him to. Everyone's just gonna be dwarfed by McKinnon's ownership, in my opinion. Stacking him with Boldy and Eriksson is tough. That's going to cost you 22K. But if you want to take advantage of Hartman and hope he can get there, and then Zuccarello and hope that he hits a ceiling game, I don't mind that. Kaprizov Boldy is also perfectly in order. Unfortunately, Steve Buium remains in a very difficult role. So like you're just getting 8 minutes a night from him at 5-on-5, and it's a matter of power play production for him. So can't go there, but I like Kaprizov. I would even consider one-offing him. Kaprizov and J-Rob, for example, like just, yeah, nobody with McKinnon's going to have those two guys. So even if McKinnon does score 40, if those two guys can score 60, you might be better off. So just a thought there on how to build differently and lose.
Right.
Anyone else in Minnesota for you?
No, I mean, I think that you're kind of circling around both ends of this game being interesting, and for kind of different reasons. Like, I think that
Well,
everyone wants to blame Edmonton's goaltending for the fact that they have no depth and no defense, and their goaltending is hung out to dry a bit and does not bail them out. Like, let's not get it twisted.
and
But
that Connor McDavid has like one rush chance this year. Is that the defense's fault? Like, I don't know, maybe,
yeah,
but like, how?
yeah.
That said,
But
do you really want to take a guy against the Wall of St. Paul, DJ? That is the new name for Jesper Wallstedt.
oh no,
which
I've
honestly
seen the
kind of
shirts.
rocks, but
It absolutely rips. I mean, sometimes you just have to hand it to a team. I mean, they do great jobs. I mean, Dalla Bill Krill, the Wall of St. Paul, they know what they're doing over there in Minnesota. Unlike whoever signed Roslovic to 3.85 by 8. So you pay that guy till you're, Trent
you meant
Frederick.
Frederick.
Yeah, I meant Frederick. Just a classic guy. Okay, but yeah, no, on the other side here, you have a very, 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 very concentrated offense for the reasons we're outlining. Minnesota being a bit in play. McDavid, Hyman, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who is at least on that top power play, to say nothing else about him. Hyman is, I'm not going to say too cheap, but I think when you're in the realm of stacking with McDavid, he's an option. But in reality, like, is this going to be some of the lowest ownership we get on McDavid, who is like kind of like quietly getting 2 points a night and just not giga nuking a slate?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if calling it 2 points a night is quite accurate, but hey, it's fine. Oddly, he played 19 and 17 40 last two games. That's odd time on ice for him, though one of them was I guess both were blowouts. I guess they were up 4-0 against Seattle. It felt closer than that, though, I thought. But Stu Skinner, I guess, showed up and whatever. Yeah, we know where the production comes from Edmonton. I'm not ready to give up on Evan Bouchard. He's been pretty good for fantasy, but when you're talking 6,400, he's got basically identical stats this year to a guy like Darren Radish. So like, why not take the 1,700 in savings? And even Kucherov is a few hundred less than McDavid and feels like a better matchup. So I'm not that interested in Edmonton. But let's get on to the final two games so we can get out of here. Keep this
the hour
on a
mark yet.
good
We have
pace.
2 games left. I mean, this is crazy. We're too fast. Chicago. I'm just gonna say the name. Okay, everyone's thinking it. Connor Bedard. Have you heard of this guy?
Ryan Green. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, perfect. Connor Bedard has been on another planet. Just takes over games at times. Does everything that you would want him to do. 40 burger against the Anaheim Ducks. Not a big fucking deal. He plays with nobody. Ryan Green, for example, is one of the players that he is actively on a line with. Makes perfect sense to me. I continue to really like the idea that we've floated that doesn't work at all, but that Nazar plus Bedard, both center spot. As Nazar's price has continued to dip, now down to 4,900, I do think one of these days it's going to get home. Hasn't yet, but his price has gone down from almost 6K to under 5. Other than that, yeah, nothing really of interest here.
Yeah, it's Bedard, it's nothing here. They're going into Vegas. Vegas has been really
playing good. Chicago without Bedard. Like, is that even like? I think you should just have to they should force you to withdraw all your funds and click and call the number. Like, it's just you can't do that.
Yeah, so
it's a bad
the price is a bit much for Bedard and whatever else. So
Josh Norris goal.
Not
Josh
that
Norris
interested
goal.
here.
I report Josh Norris goal.
God,
I wasn't wrong. I was early.
Yeah, injuries are fake. Nothing else matters. Vegas continuing, I guess, based on what TJ told me from practice today, to go Barbashev, Eichel, Bowman, Marner, Howden, Stone, and Dorofeyev, Hurdle, Sod. Um, okay then, I guess that's fine. Mark Stone's come back, not done much of anything, but he's getting fantasy points. The Mark Stone experience. Mitch Marner is actually doing a bit of stuff and not getting rewarded for it, which is odd for him. So I don't know if maybe there's some regression there for him. 9.7 expected, 6.8 actual last 10. Eichel's been fine, but 9,300 is pretty nuts for what he's put up lately, with guys like J Rob and Kaprizov clearly exceeding him at much cheaper prices. And then Door 5 and Hurdle with Stone back. I mean, what were the minutes last game? I know Hurdle got there, but certainly wasn't on a lot of minutes. 17 played. Think they took a bunch of power plays, which helps him. But let me just showcase the 5-on-5 stuff.
Please do while I watch this Josh Norris goal.
Oh my god, DJ. The 5-on-5, it's clearly a third line role for Hurts for Hurdle. He's playing with Holtz, which is clearly a sign that you're not going to be a focused upon 5-on-5 line. So I do have trouble playing Vegas here. It's a price thing and a minutes thing. If I were to go anywhere, it would be just a straight up 5-on-5 stack of Marner, Howden, Stone, and spending 15K for a line that I believe is very, very good and that someone has to shoot the pucks. So that would kind of be my interest. But Jesus Christ, please get rid of Braden Bowman on the top line. Like, you wonder why Eichel's not doing what he could. Final game.
It could be anything. Yeah, I like Vegas. I do like Vegas. They're a discombobulated mess, but like Hurdle, Dorofeyev, sign me up. Okay,
great.
Final game.
Washington, Ovi, Strome, Beauvillier, Protas, sort of Wilson, Duhaime, McMichael, Leonard. I didn't see anything on Nick Dowd. That's a clear thing to watch for if you're interested in a guy like McMichael or Leonard. Just because of time on ice and splitting minutes between 3 lines and 4 lines matters a lot for them. Ovi's going to get 17 minutes no matter what is kind of my read. And McMichael will get, 18, 19 in the right situation if Dowd is out, and he could get as low as 12 if Dowd is in. So that's really the concern. Chikrin's been unbelievable. I prefer him over a guy like Evan Bouchard, for example. Ovi's been very good. He still remains sub 7K. I'm not really sure why. But the matchup is not the greatest for Washington. And honestly, for this game, both these teams have been relatively good on defense. But, the green is green, and that's good. Green is good, I hear, DJ. And actually, the Corsi pace isn't as bad as I thought it would be. They're all slightly below average, but because Washington's slightly above average shot rate wise, they're actually okay. So yeah, just bad on the actual goals front, which I hear means something. Only ahead of Tampa, Islanders, and Boston, Detroit in terms of last 10 games, goals for and against pace at 5-on-5. What are your thoughts on Washington?
I mean, Chikrin, sometimes you're right about something and it just continues to be right and it just never stops. Like, we just kept saying, play Chikrin. I probably played Chikrin more than any other defenseman this season. We are reaching, peak levels of pricing on Jacob Chikrin at this point. What's been so impressive is just the goal acumen of this guy. I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in the past 6 games. I mean, that's just not going to be sustainable for a defenseman, but he definitely has that type of build and ability. The 8 shot on goal stuff. Is that going to happen every night? Absolutely not. No player can ever continue to do, but when you're averaging almost 8 shots on goal a game on the year, or 8 shot attempts on the year, eventually you're going to luck bomb into these situations. So the upside to the moon and back, if you're playing Washington, it's just around Jacob Chikrin. I mean, you just have to do it. Ovi is shooting a ton, but the minutes have been somewhat concerning in games where they get a lead. This could be a situation where you do game stack it. If you're going to go that route, the second line is kind of getting way too many minutes to ignore. And the third line has the most upside in guys like McMichael and top line Ryan Leonard. So 3 options, all of them in play. Keep an eye on Nick Dowd if he returns. I have no idea, but like if he does, that, but you know, we're not going to see 7 minutes of Milano, 7 minutes of Lapierre, and 9 minutes of Frank. Like they'll probably have an actual fourth line that eats some minutes. But moving over to LA, the cover boy Brant Clark, power play 1, Brant Clark, to you and yours. Has he arrived?
Yes, and in lieu of 25 minutes of Brant Clark discussion, just imagine us with this, but about Brant Clark.
You're sitting there looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.
That was Jim Hiller, apparently, not DJ on that final quote. Brant Clark on the top power play in practice today for the LA Kings. We did it. We did it, folks. We made it to Brant Clark season. He is $4,000 on the top power play in one of the worst possible matchups, probably against Logan Thompson. Does that concern me? Absolutely fucking not. We don't know who is on the power play with him. It doesn't matter. Brant Clark is the power play. He's 4K. Just play Brant Clark. Thank us later. My guess is it's Fiala, Kempe, Kopitar, and Corey Perry, and that he replaces Kuzmenko. But yeah, he's at the top of the formation. It's exactly what I hoped for. So DJ, are we even going to get anything now?
We're going to get Cole for Christmas probably, and we're going to play Brant Clark, and he's going to have 1.3, and then we're going to not play him next slate because we're absolutely the dumbest clownfish that have ever existed, and he's going to have 40 points.
No, I would never do that. I would never.
No, I'm so close. He's going to have 1.3. Then next game he's not going to be on the top power play, and he's going to have 45 points. That is what's going to happen.
Good point. In reality, like the prices on Fiala and Kempe are a little bit high for me to really be interested in stacking it. I don't expect Byfield to be top power play. If we do get some sort of indication that he is, though, then that would make me a bit more interested. It's a 19K price line, though, in a tough matchup, so not over the moon. Yeah, it's literally just a Brant Clark thing, and I think that's because we've seen over the past several years is that when he gets the minutes, he puts up blocks, he takes shots, like he has a significant point upside, even just at 5-on-5. Like he's not been getting power play points much because he's playing with Dano and Armia and whatever the hell else. Like it's not like they have a robust power play 2 operating right now. So him on the top power play, I think, should really help things. This is just a prospect thing where we're just really hoping that he truly is the final form defenseman that he's been promised to be as the former 8th round pick 4 years ago. 8th overall pick 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it may be a little bit lost in the sauce that like he has been an all-raids guy, and 12 points in 25 games isn't fantastic, but at 4K, you're talking about a guy that's really, really been productive when the role's been there, and it just has to be there in this mag. It just is. Like it's there now. Like we're seeing it night in and night out. He's getting 20 minutes of ice time. He's blocking pucks. He's shooting pucks, and now he's on the top power play. Like it's all come together now for Brant Clark. So very excited to play it. I mean, if you weren't gonna one-off it and you were just gonna say fuck it, I'm playing one other guy, is there price considered, but 400 difference between Kempe and Fiala?
I'm gonna call it Kevin Fiala because I want to see how the power play sets up. But they've been using Fiala as the one-timer guy. I'm not sure if they move Kempe over there and then make Fiala go play across the formation on his strong side. But I'm just gonna take the one-timer guy on the power play if I have to pick one.
And I will just say like 2,500. I mean, there's a few Giga punt defensemen. I've used Giga like 77 times this podcast, so I'm gonna not do it again.
Right.
But Brian Dumoulin is on the second power play and does play a lot of minutes. Doesn't really shoot, but like he has gotten a lot of points lately as the role has increased. Like, and he plays with Brant Clark, so that's probably why he's been doing better because he's playing with his best player.
Very true. Yep, very true.
Play Dumoulin, but if you know anything about me and Matt's lineup tomorrow with Brant Clark, you can know for sure that Brian Dumoulin has 4 points and Clark has 5 tertiary assists.
I'll be honest, 6,500 for a block of Clark and Dumoulin both getting power play time and playing together at 5-on-5 isn't the dumbest idea in the world.
It's not the dumbest idea in the world, and it makes me sick.
Right. Top stacks, guaranteed goals. Let's close it out and go watch this lovely Patriots Giants game.
Got your lineup in?
I had a lineup in. Yes, it's gonna be bad.
Me too.
Top
I was
stacks.
using the solver while we were recording. Full disclosure. So I
That's
apologize.
great. I just went solely off the brain because I'm an alpha.
Okay. Well, that would make me exactly what I am, a bitch.
Yeah.
So I plan on doing something disgusting tomorrow and playing the Calgary Flames, Kadri, Coronado, and Rasmus Anderson. Were you gonna do that?
Fucking no! What the hell is wrong with you? No.
Everything is wrong with me.
I'm gonna go Kucherov, Radish, Brandon Hagel. Say the patriarchy. Who needs power play one guys when Kucherov and Hagel get all the fantasy points anyway?
God, Sorokin 50-point game incoming, baby. I can't wait.
So excited.
I know.
Shabanov the other way getting benched immediately.
Oh my God.
This time for the full 60 minutes.
Yeah. I think you can sign me up for the Austin Matthew Nyes experiment. Don't know if I'm gonna have I will not have the room to play a defenseman likely with it. So I probably just won't do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably probably clicking on Max Domi, but you could. Like, he had 2 assists last game and that 7 goal output. Like, he's around it enough at 2,900. So we'll just say it for fun. So Toronto 1 and Flames 1.5.
I was actually looking at the other end of that game with Florida, thinking, build around Sam Reinhart, but Carter Verhaeghe could move into the top 6, and then Seth Jones. I know we talked about him a couple podcasts ago about how he's just like there and doing decent things. So that stack is going to cost 3 players for 17K. I think that's very manageable, especially if you take some Tampa values or a Shabanov in the other end of a Tampa stack or something. If you're trying to play my stacks together. Which news will change and my opinions will change and whatnot. But I think that's a really solid stack here and something to keep an eye on. All right, guaranteed goals and close it out.
Yeah, last time I think we went like 1 for 4. I already deleted it. It doesn't matter. I think I wrote down 1 for 4. I went first on the stacks. If you have somebody, you're welcome to go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Matt Boldy, 7,600 against Edmonton.
Matt Boldy is the answer number 1. Sign me up for one Mr. Yeah, you know what? I'll go Bo Horvat. How much is Bo Horvat? Am I gonna 6,800. Okay, not the same exact range.
No, you're fine. Because guaranteed goal. Folks. What if I told you that my rant from last week about the LA Kings power play was going to prove out to be exactly correct in that, hey, they saw Corey Perry score a shit ton of goals in the Stanley Cup final because he cleaned up the dirty mess in front of the goal off of Evan Bouchard's shots. Boy, Brant Clark on the top power play. Why would you not put Corey Perry there to clean up the mess in front of the goal? Corey Perry is absolutely scoring for 3,000 DraftKings dollars against the Washington Capitals. Sign me up.
Corey Perry, Boldy, Perry, Horvat, and I will go. Never mind, I was about to say somebody, but then I just realized that would be very stupid. So I will go with somebody less stupid, maybe considered smarter, in Zach Bolduc.
I like it.
I mean, I don't like the Montreal Canadiens at all, but give me some efficiency. Power play.
He's a good player.
All right.
Let's get out of here. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe to my newsletter, moods.beehive.com. I simulcasted the Friday stream on both my YouTube and DJ's YouTube. So if you somehow missed that or, whatever, if you missed that, I have a YouTube channel. You can find it at Fake Moods on YouTube as well. I also link to it, obviously, in the Discord and whatnot for my Friday stream. So please do subscribe there. Yes, DGen Stoner, please smash the like button. If you are on YouTube, please rate, review on the podcast apps if you are so inclined. It does help, I guess. We hear, and it's nice to see the the engagement and whatnot. So thank you to everyone in chat.
I agree. We'll be back for Thursday's slate. Nothing else really comes to mind. No, I think enjoy
Perfect.
it. I gotta go get ready to hit the ice myself.
All right. From Doug, from DJ, from myself, have a good Tuesday slate, everybody, and we will see you.
You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.